This is a great question, and it comes in obviously quite a lot. How many of us have run into these challenges with dating where you hear from your women friends, your men friends, oh my God, here I am putting myself out there as I am, and I'm receiving these most strange of approaches. I don't even know how this is happening. How am I attracting these people that are seeming like they're gonna, meet up with me and be respectful and honoring, and then they move into this other mode, which is having to do with expecting things out of me that I'm thinking, where did they get even that idea that I'd be wanting to engage in that, right? So I asked the angels and guides and talked to those in the quantum about this, because it's very funny, isn't it? I mean, you start talking to your friends and you say, what did he say to you? What did she say to you? Well, one thing they're mentioning is that in our country, in the United States of America, there's a lot of lessening of dignity and a lot of demoralization through disrespect, right? So you can't go blaming everything, the powers that be, and this person in power, and that government figure, and no, we have to bring it back to ourselves and decide, what are we projecting? What are we radiating? What are we sending out to the universe that says, you can disrespect me, you can dishonor me, you can show me no dignity? What are we doing? That's where we have to get to. Not figuring out, oh, one person out there in the government is to blame for how everyone else in the US is acting. No. So those in the quantum kind of giggle about that, because there is a lot of that projection going on, and all of it is trying to bring us back to ourselves and say, where are we needing to bring the self-respect back, the self-honoring back, the self-care, the dignity, just simple dignity. Now, dignity in ancient times had nothing to do with this stuffer thing. It was all about a sense of self, a sense of your certainty, of your knowing, I can do this and I have no desire to do that. I'm going this direction, I'm not going to go that direction, right? So it is carrying us over into our love lives. And so some of what I've been hearing from clients and friends is that they are in that state of shock oftentimes, where things seem to start out in a certain way and then they go into this other dimension of that disrespect and dishonoring. Okay, so that is the time when we have to check back in and say, what are we radiating that says that that's okay to be treated that way? Where are we not holding ourselves in a place of honor? Where might we be standing in a little bit of self-deception even? Because if we're receiving a lot of deception, somewhere in ourselves we're deceiving ourselves. Somewhere we're not being completely forthright and honest with ourselves. Maybe even about what we're desiring. Maybe we're cutting ourselves short. Maybe we are deciding that we're not worthy of that much bliss. Maybe just a little bit. So that is what the heels in the quantum is. If you're running into this, where it's like, oh my God, dating is such a whatever, you can fill an expletive. It's a bull manure show, let's just call it that. Come back to yourself and say, where might I not be being completely honest? Maybe I am keeping myself too small. Maybe I am devaluing myself in some way. Why am I engaging in this ongoing dialogue with these souls that, guess what, it's just about like I'm trying to be right, or I'm trying to prove myself, or I'm trying to make them see me a certain way, or I'm trying to get them to change. Can't get anybody to change. Everyone has to decide on their own that they're going to become a person who treats others with respect and honor and dignity and value. Nobody can change another person's mind about that. So if you are spending a lot of time communicating with certain people who, you know what I'm talking about, I can hear a bunch of people giggling about this right now, because there's this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Where are you getting? Where's that taking you? It isn't taking you further necessarily. It might be actually adding more blocks to yourself and more deterrence to what you do desire. Because anger, rage, argument, despair, sadness, grief, shame, guilt, all those things are slow frequencies, right? So if you are saying, but I want to live in this joy, and I want to live in this peace, I want to have a blast, I want to have fun, I want to play with my mates, right? If you are saying that in one breath, and yet at the same time getting into these dialogues, maybe dating with all of this mattering of proving or making the person see something differently, or that he or she needs to get it, guess what? That's just ego. It's just ego. And that's when we have to drop back into ourselves and say, wait a minute, why am I battling? Why am I fighting for a relationship? Do I believe I have to fight to get a relationship? So these are all things to just kind of check in and see where you're holding yourself up. See where you have been determining that a gender, if you want to call it that, or an opposite sex partner, same sex partner, it doesn't matter. If you have been labeling things a certain way, well, you know how men are, well, you know how men are in the state, well, you know how women are, you know what they say about these women, then you're just talking yourself right into attracting more of the same. In the other hand of things, if you decide, you know what, I love people and I really love loving on people, and I really am determined to engage with people who are into their growth, into their evolution, love their spirituality, are getting off on their whatever it is to bring them more joy. Who says we can't? So on the dating front, yes, it is always about coming back in and seeing what you're projecting outward and what you're attracting, because there's no such thing as unlike frequencies or unlike vibrations being able to hang out for very long. If you're still stuck together through this kind of a dialogue and this arguing or disputing or trying to prove something, then you are in that frequency state too. So if you don't want it, and you say, this is not my desired reality, you gotta leap out of it and let that person go. Say, you know what, all the best to you. I really, may you find what you're looking for. Maybe you will find the perfect match to what that mindset is. There's nothing wrong with anybody's mindset, but you don't have to mess around and be stuck in this back and forth that leads to what? Where's it leading? Because at the end of the day, you're looking like, I just spent a whole 2 hours arguing about that, or I'm being in a state of dispute. And what is that doing in our bodies? What does anger and rage do in our bodies? What does even the sense of hopelessness do? When you get the despair, oh my gosh, things get eaten away in our bodies because of that, right? This dis-ease comes through those avenues of all of those slower frequencies. So you have to decide, what do I want? What do I really desire? Do I want to be in the state of, proving to myself that relationships are hard, that relationships are a mess, that you have to, fight for this or fight for that or fight against it, or battle about it, or prove something, or show something, or make somebody change? Not gonna happen, not gonna work. That's when, a relationship can feel very hard that way. Or even a dating pattern. So take care. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. This is Jeannie from Blaha, Colorado. Your angel call girl with Take a Walk with Your Angels and joyflames.com. Peace and love.